Looks like I'm in Narnia, doesn't it? Well, I'm not. I'm in Nacadoches, Texas, which is the oldest town in Texas, and I'm standing on the property of one of the premier bed and breakfasts called Stag. In just a few minutes, we're going to go inside and meet Maddie Collins, who's one of the owners of Stag. Once you cross that bridge and go into that home, you're in Wonderland. Come on, let's take a look. Welcome to In the Know Online. This is Maddie Collins. She is the innkeeper and part owner of Stag Country Inn in Nacadoches, Texas. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
We have been out to Narnia, driving in your driveway. It's quite the experience coming in at night. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. How many acres do you have out there?
We have 200 acres, and it's all woodland. We have absolutely no cleared areas.
How did you ever find a place to put this house?
It was very difficult because as we moved over the acreage, we saw so many beautiful spots. And I was particularly looking for an isolated spot, kind of central to, in the middle of the location. But there were so many locations, at least 40, that we considered for our main house. And so it was a very difficult process. Looking around a bit, we noticed that the big creek flooded.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes several feet out of its banks, and we decided that would not be a good location for putting anything on the other side of it that we had to go to regularly. And so practicality said, hey, this is not quite to the center of the property, but it's a lovely drive up to this point, and we can do this and someday maybe even be able to afford to cement the driveway to concrete it. So we decided on this particular place, and we've enjoyed it. It was a good selection.
Was it always going to be a bed and breakfast spot?
It was never going to be a bed and breakfast. We had no such concept when we bought the property. We were simply going to vegetate here for the rest of our lives. My husband and I, and our son, who was right at college age when we bought it, we just thought that this would be a wonderful place to enjoy nature. We built our son a cottage. As I said, he was approaching college age, and we built him a cabin close to the big creek on the back. He spent 4 years of college there. We thought at first that we'd talk him into staying home and going to the local college, Stephen F. Austin University, for a couple of years, and then perhaps he would be old enough with more maturity that he would then go off to one of the larger colleges. As it turned out, he enjoyed his cabin that we built for him so much, he never wanted to leave. And all of his friends tried moving in with him. So it was a real social experience, his being in college and having his own pad. But when he graduated and left us, we had a cabin back there that we began to use as our guest house. And as more and more people found out that we had a guest house, more and more people wanted to come and stay in it. So we decided that it would be more fruitful if we were to rent it out. And so we started renting it out, and that got us going. You know, one thing led to another, and we have only lately put the brakes on and said, no more. This is where we want to be, and this is what we want to do, and this is it.
Now, I understand the second cabin actually has an interesting story behind it as well.
It does. It's a log cabin that was cut off the property. Everything in that cabin except for the flooring and the doors literally are made of the wood that came off this property. We had a small mill to come in. The mill cut the trees and the wood and sawed it up for us to make door facings and window facings and studs. Even our studs for the cabin came off the property. The trees themselves were a real experience because we had to peel the logs ourselves manually. And so everybody who came through the gate was handed a pole peeler. For some time, we peeled poles.
So the term working for your breakfast really took on a
It definitely did. It definitely did. But I had always wanted a real log cabin, not a kit. And so this was like a dream. My husband was not too crazy about the idea. My father-in-law and I had always dreamed of this. And but as it turned out, my husband and my son eventually were the ones who got to build a cabin.
Now tell us about the floor, because I think this is so interesting, how this floor came about.
One of our renters in one of our rental properties had access to some bowling alley flooring, which we're not really sure how he got access to it, but it was like 3 to 4 inches thick, and it was like in 4 or 5 foot slabs, and each slab weighed 70 pounds.
Wow.
And I said that would make a wonderful floor for this cabin. Well, they had just finished the foundation and had to go back and beef it up for that flooring. But when you walk across that floor, it feels like you're walking on a concrete foundation because it is so solid. So it's a great noise absorber also. So it's been wonderful.
It's probably the only bowling alley for miles around that you can actually walk on, too.
Yeah.
Now, I've noticed in staying here that each cabin has a unique little feature that allows you to tour most of the 200 acres. What is that little feature that our guests would...
We have nature trails and walking trails as well as drives that go from one cabin to the other, and we give all of our guests golf carts, which they love. I mean, we realized that we had a lot of lazy guests when we gave them the choice of the golf cart or just hiking. They took the golf carts. And so they can just zip from one place to the other. If it's a group meeting, that's a real advantage, that they can zip from one cabin to the other. But even if they don't want to do that, they enjoy the nature trails along the creeks, through the woods, up and down the hills. Although they're a little slow on the hills sometimes. But it allows even people with leg problems or back problems, it allows them access to all the property. They can get out and enjoy nature. They can enjoy the archery, the volleyball, the basketball, the horseshoes, along with the rest of the family. So it has really been a success story.
Now all of that, the horseshoes, the volleyball, the basketball net, all of that is actually on the property.
Yes, we call that our athletic field. And it's kind of out in the center of things. All the cabins kind of circle that athletic field, but you cannot see any of the cabins from the field because they're all tucked away down their own little drive in their own little nook in the woods. And so everybody has their privacy.
How easy is it to get to Stag Leap?
It's extremely easy from 2 different highways. You can come from Houston by Highway 59, and our farm road turns directly off Highway 59. You turn off Highway 59 and go 7 miles exactly on our 2782 Farm to Market Road. If you're coming from Dallas or Fort Worth, you come down Highway 69, take a left on Highway 7, go 8 miles. There's our farm road, take a left and go 2 miles. It's very easy to find. We have very few people who get lost trying to find us.
And if you get lost, I'm sure that Wayne will come out and find you and have no problem bringing you back to Stag Leap.
All roads lead to Stag Leap.
Maddie, thank you so much for joining us for In the Know Online. If people want to make reservations for Stag Leap, how do they get in touch with you, and do you have a website?
Yes. Our website is www.stagleap.com. That's STAGLEAP.com. You can make reservations at our email at stagleap@consolidated.net. And we prefer, actually, that people call us so you can talk to a real live person at 936-560-0766 or 936-715-9477.
Great. You can reach us at www.intheknowonline.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this segment. We look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.